And to the old members that have found their way back to the community, I need you just as much as you need me. In this evening's live, we have so many things to talk about that it's going to make our heads explode. We're going to try to keep it as transparent and as straight to the point as possible. We're going to talk about, and we have to talk about it, that XRP whales have moved 300 million tokens now amid the SEC's appeal for a final judgment on Ripple, which, as we know, they want the judge to impose a $2 billion fine on Ripple. If there's any action that looks like that's going to happen, we would have to wholesale our entire holdings of XRP, not because we want, but because the sell-off that would have to happen to hit $2 billion is going to be enormous, and this price is going to cut. Now, it wouldn't permanently stay down, but for a short time period, as they're selling off that $2 billion worth of sales, you could expect a 10, 20, 30, we don't know. It depends how they would approach it. But right now, I look at this more as a lot of BS going into the news now. And now we could also look at it as the fact, as long as XRP or Ripple gets any less of a judgment than $2 billion, it's going to be looked as a win. So, I mean, it's kind of, you could take it as devil's advocate here. Is this a way for them to cut price? Or is this a sneaky way on the precipice of a nice move up that they could be putting a lot of slander out there so that a lot of would-be holders, a lot of holders now start selling out into the investors or the institutional investors? Because the ironic part about this is if they levied a $2 billion fine against Ripple, the funny thing is it goes right back into the hands of institutional investors, part of that fine. So you're telling me now you're going to take out of the retail investor, which I understand. When somebody else gets wealthy, somebody else goes broke. And in this case, retail investors for XRP would be the ones that flip this little bill by a depreciation in price as they sell with more and more of the tokens that they hold. So that's not necessarily a good thing. So we watch this from every single angle, but right now I'm telling you, we have not even broke down the key support area that would invalidate this inverted head and shoulders. We still have not been able to invalidate within the same breath the head and shoulders formation from a little farther out. Because right now the inverted head and shoulders that is formed is actually could be an actual right shoulder. It's just if this did show us some kind of bottoming formation, that's something we'd have to watch. Bitcoin, I feel a little bit better today as it consolidated a little bit and came down pretty close to our uptrending support that we've been talking about the last couple of days. That Bitcoin has to come down. I mean, we'll see what happens with TradingView because it's been having a slew of problems today, which is not uncommon. But when you do what I do and you look at the charts as often as I do, it can be a little annoying, but you know, it's simple problems. But Bitcoin, we talked about for the last few days how we needed to consolidate down, and it has consolidated down now. The question is, though, is it going to continue on? And if you continue through this formation to the downside, we know the target 64,543. We just don't want to acknowledge it yet. But if it breaks this little ascending formation, it's going to be, unfortunately, I speculated on an M, and I just don't think it's gone up far enough to finish what I was seeing, because I measured, and it's not always you hit it perfectly, but I measured the broken structure that broke to the top side, which because we knew boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, out. Now, this is a beautiful consolidation and up, in my opinion. I only say that because the technical target nailed it perfectly here, and then the technical target back up on a hold is up here on the other blue line at 73,621, the light blue. The reason why I have both of those is because the technical breakdown out of what started to be a little bit of a rising. Some people are saying that it was a wedge, fine. But at the rising part of the channel there is exactly what it was, and that's how we knew that it was going to come down to 60,690. But that had to hold here, form a reversal pattern, which for the sake of whoever wanted it to go up like I do, it actually created a bottoming formation. And it was concurrent higher lows, right? Higher low. Even with the close here, you got a major higher low up here in the daily. So, I mean, it does look like a little bit of a shakeout attempt here. I mean, something just doesn't add up here. Left arm, head, right arm, consolidate. I mean, I don't really see anything to worry about yet. That's just my personal opinion. Even if Bitcoin were to come down and rotate to the technical breakdown, which I don't want it to, 64,932, yeah, although it's below the 66,600 that I like, it still, for all intents and purposes, hasn't even invalidated the structure yet. But where it's at right now, this is a typical consolidation, and I think that a lot of this is going to end up being about a FUI. And until it breaks down, you have to make sure that it's breaking down before you call a breakdown. Because right now we have a target, and we called this, once we realized the ascending triangle formation was formed, we talked about the breakdown target. I didn't necessarily talk about a breakup target because ascending triangles are essentially bearish reversals, and they don't typically break up. So we targeted the downside here from yesterday. I still think 75 cents has to play out in time, but if this doesn't get invalidated, we come back down to the bottom here. That's why we don't make predictions here. We make an observation on the technicals, the news, and we see what it looks like it's going to likely hit that particular day, but with the open mind of what is still very, very bullish. Just because we have a small bearish movement, this is so prototypical. It's so prototypical. And we're actually forming a much wider pattern that I'm not acknowledging yet until 61 cents, or 59.9 cents holds if it comes down there. But if it does, we've essentially started a pretty interesting pattern here that I'm not even going to start to look at because I don't want to speculate that it's started like this because then it'll give everybody false hope. I'm not going to say it started like this. I'm going to wait. I'm going to choose to wait. And it's not because like a channel's forming, okay? It's not because, oh, there's a channel forming. That's not what's happening here. If it plays out properly, you know what, the hell with it. I'll show everybody just so I'm not leaving you on a hook. But if it does play out properly, and this does create either right here, like if this is the bottoming formation right now, this is what it's starting to form. Otherwise, if it comes lower to like here, it's just going to have to meet farther. But this, if it did reverse here, you could see something like this possibly forming. That speculation, but it could be forming something bigger like that. So if we go from that aspect, because we're going to have a daily close where it's going to be over that. So, I mean, we can use it from a daily perspective. We'll use the wick. It's not like we're making anything up right now, but that is what can start forming. I think that is possibly what is starting to form here. And that ascending triangle is only there because it gives us the technical target on a breakdown from there. But, I mean, it's very possible we went into some kind of consolidation like this. You know, it's very possible that that's what's happening right now. And that wick coming down allows us to put the pattern into motion. So I'm going to take this out because we know the technical drop. But I think it's evolving here. So I like to stay up to date with the patterns, but I don't do anything until I go live so everybody can see what the hell's going on. So with that being said, let me get into the intro. Make sure you hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. It's very, very important to hit that like button if you have the ability. If you're driving, I certainly don't want you to go outside of your way to do it. If you're struggling to move, something's wrong, obviously. But if you have the ability within yourself right now to hit that like button, it would be greatly appreciated because YouTube will recommend this live. It'll allow us to grow the live numbers or the audience base because now when others are scrolling through the feed, new or older viewers, if they can't see this content, they don't have any ability to click on it. Out of sight, out of mind, or they might not even know who we are. But by you hitting that like button, it'll end up through the feeds because of the algorithm, and it'll end up in the recommendations. That simply means that they recommend it through your feed, which means when you log on to YouTube, you know how you go on there right now onto YouTube and you see somebody you might not even know. That's them recommending it to you. That's what I'm looking for from each and every one of you. So with that being said, the only other thing we're going to talk about this evening besides XRP, Bitcoin, and I'm not really in a mood to go over every single altcoin tonight just because I want to stay on my focus and I want to stay on what I'm trying to do tonight. But XRP, Bitcoin, we're definitely going to go over the XRP, Bitcoin pairing because it alluded to the fact that we got a breakdown that we had come in here and it's tailor-made it. We broke out of the short zone. And if we do finish this drop, it could come all the way down to 0.8888, you know, the 800. But we can stop it with a touch at 868 and a hold. So we're going to look at that. And then we're going to look at XRP Healthcare as it's up over 4 cents today. I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, We've been talking about it a lot. We're going to go through deeper on the white papers, and then we're going to actually go through why they chose the ledger, and then the most important thing, why was the XRPH token issued, the reasonings for it, yada, yada, yada. And this is the most important part of it, and you're going to see how small of an allowance there is for retail investors. So on the surface, there's only 100 million total circulating supply as well, which is fascinating. And 54 million roughly are in circulation. I completely lowballed how many I had because I staked it for 20% on their website, the exact one we're going to be on, that we can go on to look after. But you can stake straight through their wallet. And they offer 20% for 6 months or 25% for a year. I did 6 months. So for 34,000 plus, it works out to like 6,900 and some change tokens, or 6,800 and some change. So that's pretty interesting. So without that being further ado, let me get into the intro. And then I'll say hello to everybody. So good evening. 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Yes, it's not the easiest thing to find XRP Healthcare, especially in the USA. The only reason that I'm able to is because I signed up for MEXC last year before it was not allowing new users in the USA. It's the one thing that's disappointing. It's very difficult to find in the USA. JW, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Welcome back, my brother. Jorge, Larry Sanders, Crypto Bob, Mario Luis Williams, Orcon, welcome in. Matt Holden, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over, 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Thank you so much, Matt, for that. Simon, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. That sure is my face superimposed on that badge. I'll kid you not. MC Prosperity, Puentes, Miev, Orkin. Oh, I already said hi to you, but thank you all for tuning in, all 4 of you. Hopefully you're having blessed evenings. Christopher, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Well, Rob, welcome in. And who else did I see? Simon, both of you, thank you so much for being on Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Vanio, Soul of Jeffy, Betty, welcome in. Thank you, all 3 of you, for being in attendance this evening to watch live. I really appreciate it. Marco, welcome. Fudd, yes, it could be Fudd. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Wawa, welcome in. John Hall, good evening. Matt Holden, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6 months with the XRP Predictor, or at least 6 months. Mark Caston, good evening. Alexander, good evening from Thailand. Marco, one more push, he says. We will see. We'll get into the charts real quickly here. Anybody hear the news on New Day, No Productions leaving X? Yes! 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 I was reading this, actually. That is the, thank you, that is the, I knew I forgot something. I swear I was doing due diligence before I started. I've read about this earlier. Right here, baby. Great, that's a great comment, because this is another, this is some, a dev decided to leave Ripple, or the XRP ledger, and the reasoning is pretty interesting, folks. They're saying that the fact that Ripple sells the XRP tokens on retail investors, they don't appreciate it. So I'm so glad you brought that up, make XRP great again, because that was something I read, and I'm like, oh, this is explosive. Explosive. But I could not figure out for the life of me the last thing I was trying to figure out. That's why I was late. I was trying to figure out what I was missing, and I was still almost 4 minutes late. Look at that. All I had to do was look at my audience. Thank you so much for that. Unbelievable. Right on the money. Devin, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Hope you're having a blessed evening, friend. Alexander, welcome in. Let's see. Big Mac, good evening. Puentes, smash that like button indeed. Thank you so much for letting everybody know to do that. It really does help. What is an ACH? That's an electronic purchase through your bank. So if you buy like precious metals or certain things, they'll ask you to do an ACH. That's an electric bank transfer. A lot of times you get a better deal for doing that instead of using like a debit card or just your banking itself. If you do an ACH, it's auto. So basically, by doing that, you're approving that amount on the spot. So they don't have to wait the 72 hours or week or whatever the hell it takes. Dane Brown, welcome in. Good morning from Japan, friend. Wales, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months. In the second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Yes, they do have LBank. LBank does have XRPH. It's just, that's one that I am researching to see because you can't do deposits from bank accounts on there, but I have found, and I've been using it personally, but still in the testing phase, you can transfer other assets over other crypto to deposit and withdraw via other cryptos. They just don't allow KYC, which is interesting, in the USA. Black Ox, welcome in. You're welcome, friend. I'm glad you love the show. Makes me happy to read that. George, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Max, Dane, welcome in. Mr. Mac, welcome, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge, the XRP 589 badge. And thank you, Russ. Welcome back to the Army. And the cool thing about this is you continue on. It doesn't make you start over, even if it takes a minute to update or re-up or whatever the case may be. Or he might have done it right away. But he's back to the Army, and that's the 3-month badge, the XRP Meteor. So thank you so much for being part of the Army for at least 3 months, Ross. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. You made me the happiest person today now. Appreciate that. Matthew, Shane, the Cannabis Podcast, Dane, and Rage, welcome in. Tickets are booked for Columbia, April 3rd. Interesting. Very interesting. So, back in real time. So we've got a lot to go over here. So I might as well start with the charts. So XRP, I tried to talk about it in the opening. Technically, we have evolved this pattern here, and we know the daily close should hold this area now. And we can't guarantee anything, but that's down at 606. XRP's up at 614. Hopefully that holds. And then we've got a nice little structure here, and if it breaks below, that's a big problem. But you have the little extension underneath. We know the technical target from the ascending triangle that had started forming. But this is actually forming a very bullish setup here if it holds. I don't want to keep this arrow. We already know what that's from. That's how we knew it was coming down, when we broke the ascending formation. But we're in a very key part of this formation. Right now, we are below the handle resistance or support, and we're going to try to not use it as resistance at 627. Because if we did break down, we would have to come back down to the handle support, which is down here at right around 497. But as it is, we can see we're starting an uptrending support right now. And if you wanted to be like, oh, well, that's the short pattern, we can go by the long pattern. This is actually what this is what I was saying. We can go by the long pattern, but then everybody will start to get a little nervous because then they see the actual drop. This is the other chart that I've had on from, this is the November chart. It's all going to work back into, well, it's slightly different, but it all works back into this over time if we didn't get the breakout, and we didn't. Now we have to consolidate. And now it's one of those things, if you hold the formation, it's interesting. But that's the longer formation. You know, that's the longer formation that I just showed. But right here, you know, I chose to cut the pattern off a little bit just in case, you know, because we already have that on the other chart. So I decided to cut the pattern off so we could see a short interpretation of what could be going on right now. And it's actually like this. Everybody remembers. But that's assuming that daily candle holds. And the reason why this is important, I'm sure everybody knows, if that daily candle holds right there, the importance is you have a low, and then you have a higher low right there still even. So at least over time, this is starting to put in higher lows, even though it did come back down. But even from here, right, you're coming up now. But we do know that if it does break this, let's see if the technical target out of something like this actually puts us right to that range that it's already telling us. I'm actually very anxious to see. Hold on, I'm going to go let my cat out real quick. Come on, Ghost. So if we were to get a technical breakdown, probably wouldn't happen there. It's probably going to take some time because you'd probably bounce around. But still, technically, see, that's that 554 area again. I don't know how many times that area pops up if we do break down, but it does pop up quite a bit. These charts are getting messy because we've got so much stuff happening now. Still, that's our 77-month consolidation that we have to in time get over. And that's the only way to signal ourselves back into a bull market. That's the only way to start pushing up here. And that happens to be the handle resistance as well. The main handle resistance. We're just in the consolidatory zone, which ends up making a big nightmare for everybody. But I'm trying to see what I can do about this to maybe... What is this? I don't know what... Oh, that's just the support. I'm going to take this out because these lines are getting confusing. I don't need these lines. We can just look at it from a chart perspective. But that's just the short support. See, that's the short. That's the short support. Oh, this is where we've seen it. Yeah, see, it's either we fall down there if we do come bearish, or the only other choice is XRP got rejected there. And if it keeps coming down, it's about an 8.5% drop if we're going to get held somewhere right there at about that 55, 56 cent area. And the only reason that that could be a likely spot with the formation that's formed is if we look at this, we came up and then our first hit of support, we came up against support. Now we're coming through, failed to break up. But if it does come down like this and you don't hold this, I can guarantee we're coming down to 50 cents if that doesn't hold. And that's our best case scenario because this formation tells us if it doesn't hold, more than likely we could find ourselves down there at 40 cents. So there's a lot of, different signals that could be perceived here. But at the end of the day, I still choose to look at this from the bullish perspective only because we are in this cup and handle formation. Until this cup and handle ceases to exist, it's still bullish to me. It's still bullish. And I'm going to take off this other one because that's showing something else that's on it. But this is the handle we're on. This is the longer term if we have to go up. But the first tier we're on right now, this is still within the handle. A lot of this is very dangerous to just think it's going to break down, but we'll see what happens. If the handle does break down and it goes to 4 cents, let's just say, wouldn't that just signify that Ripple had to sell $2 billion and the price just depreciated like crazy? That's why we have to be very on top of this day by day. We're allowed to be optimistic, but we still have to know. We still have to know. And the other reason I always tell everybody, don't just hold XRP. We've got to have other assets, which is why I have 13 or now 14 with XRP Healthcare, is because if I've got to sit on XRP or if I got to do the buying and selling game over time, like I said, if XRP gives me a reason to sell, I'll wholesale it again and then just buy it back at the bottom. I don't want to do it. It hasn't given me a reason yet. But there are signals that if they happen to go, I'm out. If 50 cents is lost, I would sell XRP, not because I want to, but because the repercussions of losing that handle support, I'm not willing to sit through that because even if it gets caught at 40 or 38 cents, I could just buy it back. Brody, yay, that's such an ignorant comment. Well, I mean, then you should find a way to buy it because you actually can buy it. You just have to be, you have to figure it out. There's ways to buy it. But pessimistic, the pessimistic, what's funny? Do you know a form of brainwashing? And I can tell a lot of the haters in here who always use this mindset. Do you know pointing out the negative in everything is a form of being brainwashed? Research it. Do some research. Do you understand the ones who are like this? Whenever you point out the negative in everything, that's a form of brainwashing. They used that on the slaves many, many eons ago and prisoners of war. It's a form of brainwashing. So you're coming in here as a prisoner. You're not a victim in here. In fact, I give each and every one of you the ability to actually educate yourselves. I have no vested interest. Whether The only vested interest I have is my own portfolio and trying to better each and every one. Like, that's my interest. The ones who don't want to learn, that's fine, whatever. I like to look at this as a land of opportunity within this community. And if you approach it with that mindset, okay, but I mean, is that supposed to be a flex so you can't buy it? I'm not sure. So, but just remember, when some of you have that mindset of everything's negative, if I'm going to come in here instead of bringing positivity, or hey, you know, the further and betterment of learning, you know, if you approach life like that in the negative, that is a form of being brainwashed, and you're brainwashing your kids, the people around you. You're making them think that only the bad can happen. That is not a good way to live. Don't have the pessimistic attitude. You're not a victim, period. The only reason you're a victim is because your mind is putting you there. You think you're flexing and being funny, but it's not. I mean, I feel sorry for people like you because you never get ahead. You're always sitting behind the desk, always working for somebody else. But anyhow, Bitcoin's down 615 points. And it's down 0.88% to $69,364. Bitcoin right now is in a very tricky spot. Very tricky spot. Oh, good. Well, stick around, sweetheart, because we're going to be talking about the white papers of XRP Healthcare right after this. So I'm glad that you enjoy it so much. That segment will be brought to you by Brady, personally sponsoring XRP Healthcare. The uptrend right now, 64,000. It hit at 500. It's come up again. Now this is the consolidation. Now if it needs to hold here, it's going to be tricky, because if it breaks down this barrier at 68,400, that's going to be an issue. The technical target down here is going to be 64,543. But yeah, that's just my message. But now I won't even acknowledge that person anymore until they straighten up and have a more positive mindset. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're more in an ascending little formation here. And if we break down 64,543 is the short target, and then if we push that, we know the wider ramifications here is if we can't hold 60,690, which we don't even want to come down there. This still looks very bullish, as long as we don't lose this inverted pattern. As long as we don't use this inverted pattern. So this inversion is really nice right now. Really nice right now. So that's what I'm looking. If it stays and we don't lose, especially if this formation holds, it's game on. It's game on, because the technical target out of this brings you somewhere around 85, 82 to 85 if we break bullish out of this. The first target will be 75,735, but the size of this flag that we can acknowledge, that's a flagpole that's lining up. If this plays out, that's a bull flag. Can everybody see that? That's a prototypical bull flag if it holds this consolidation. Now, if it loses the bull flag, obviously, then you have the measured move already. But that absolutely looks like a bull flag is setting up here unless it breaks down. You know, that's not being biased. That's just looking at a chart. So, and remember, over time, everybody, like I've always said, the ones who aren't in, which you're in if you're making profit, the ones who feel like they're being left out, they're going to come in here and they're going to try to attack the community. It happens every single time we make money. Remember, nobody was talking bad about XRPH when I started talking about it. Now it's up 65% since we started buying, and now you get the negativity. There's no rhyme or reason except people feel left out. It's that simple. Money not earned is money lost to somebody, right? So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. We'll see if it can actually play out of this flag, or if it's going to end up breaking down and going to 64,543. We know what to watch. If you see it below 68,000, it's not good. If it's below 68,000 for Bitcoin, that means there's always the chance that, you know, you're talking about that 4,000, 5,000 point drop pretty quickly. With XRP Bitcoin pairing, it's down 1.88%. And this gave us reason to be concerned. The fact we came down below a very wide formation, even if you look at it from, and this is the thing, even if you were to come like this and say, well, Tom, technically the pattern was coming through like this, either way you look at it, it broke through it. So no matter if you look at it like this, which I'm sure a lot of people are, or the way that I had it when I first started, but some people were saying it's fine. You can look at it however you want. It just gives you a shorter target than if you're looking at it from there. But still, this is suggesting that it could, even like this, to satisfy some of the ones who were talking before yesterday. That's 816. The difference is either 816 or 768. That's your difference. So if this is the case, you know, this would be a pretty substantial fall for XRP. Because maybe not within the price, but it would mean that Bitcoin is either falling slower than XRP, which would mean XRP has a big sell-off compared to Bitcoin coming, or even if the prices are going up, Bitcoin ends up having a pump here initially, and XRP comes out the gate slow, which it wouldn't surprise anybody. So, now the one thing that's working out very nicely is the RSI. If this keeps tracking up like this, it's very much a rising channel here. And I don't need to tell you, but these are bullish reversals. Whoops. We definitely don't want an emoji. So, this is coming up here in the channel. This typically at some point is going to break harshly, which means the price is going to correct harshly at some point. So, we're just waiting on this to correct. Once that reversal starts, price action is going to start going up for XRP. But can't do anything until that happens. The XRP market cap right now is at 33.67 billion. We've fallen below the support at 33.96 billion. If we get rejected there, it simply tells us we got to come down all the way to the uptrend at 33, possibly even back down here again at 31.9. But right now, like I've said, I'm not going to draw this in on this one because it's on the XRP price action. Just remember this: left shoulder, head. Actually, easier to do it like this. And then it comes down, up. This is still consolidation. Look at that. Ba-bam, 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 and then out if it does that. That's still an inverted pattern. This is still bullish right now. That is still a bullish right arm setup, but overall bearish because you got left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If this moves up, it's going to invalidate the head and shoulders pattern. Maybe not the double top, but it would at least invalidate the short-term head and shoulders because it would invalidate the actual right shoulder, but validate the inverted head and shoulders here, which is in disguise would be on a right shoulder. Or this is just one big fake out and then it comes down. That's not uncommon. It happens. But that's what we're watching for right now for Bitcoin. So that's basically from a technical analysis side of what I wanted to see at least short-term. If you are watching right now, please make sure to hit that like button, as there's 126 people have hit that like button, 199 people watching. If you hit that like button, YouTube will recommend this live, and it will allow more people to come in here. If you're looking to trade XRP in the USA, BITUNIX, I know I've seen somebody who was talking about it in the comments, one person on my updates, the only person I've seen. It is allowed in the USA. As sure as I stand here, I use it. And I'm not going to lie to people. It's in the USA. You don't need a VPN, lowest spot and leverage trading fees. So that's what I've started using. I'm still on Uphold. I use MEXC. It's just new users aren't allowed. That's where I bought XRP8, and then I shifted over to their own wallet for staking. But yeah, that's where I found there's no scenario XRP hits 35 plus this cycle. 35 plus what? $35? If you're talking $35, we're not even in the same planet. I don't even know what that means. $35, that's not even on the table. This cycle, that may never be on the table. I'm not even sure what that means. So yeah, so this cycle, yeah. I agree. Let's see. Someone asked. No, I don't. No, I don't see a scenario for $35, honestly. In this scenario, I don't see $10 to $20 in this bull run. How are we talking $10 or $20? Let me ask the audience. I'm not going to show my chart for the ones who are saying it. And I want to know from the ones who are calling for that cycle, what date, what month and year did XRP hit its all-time highs? To see where our audience is at right now. It never ceases to amaze me. Everybody coming in and talking 10 to 20. Where are we getting those numbers? We haven't even... Hello, everybody. This is why I do this. I promised my audience I would not hit my hair. I would not cut my hair last July until we hit $1, just to show everybody how long it would get. And everybody talking about over $1. This is how long it's been now. In the last almost 10 months. It's been since July. I haven't cut my goatee either since then. This is just a transparent way to show, like, it's been taking time. And we're not No. You shouldn't even be asking $10. Are you kidding? Or $20 this cycle. That doesn't even make sense. Like, we have to have the real expectation. See, that's the reason why I get so animated about all of this. I'm not even really animated, but the reason I get so passionate about it is because this is what all the other influencers on XRP push, and this is why eventually everybody hates XRP. Because you're being lied to. It's that simple. XRP right now, what you're hoping for this cycle, is not even to get up to 350. Right now, your goal right now is to break out of this short-term cup and handle and get up to $1.20. Technically on this cycle, we should, if everything played out true, $1.95. As sure as I'm going to be standing here in 2030, we're not going to be at $10,000. Promise you that. I don't live in BS. If that's your expectation by 2030, you're in the wrong token, my friend. And it's not because I don't believe in XRP, but we have a 100 billion total circulating supply. You know? I do not, Savage. That's above my pay grade. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, all-time highs was January of 2018. We hit all-time highs. So here's the argument here about how are we supposed to get all the way up there? Now, that is my logical target here at $5.49. If this plays out in a big W, that is an appropriate target for XRP if we can play this bullish entirely through. That's a real target. I'm sorry it's not 10,000. I'm sorry it's not $100. But $5.49 is a real target if we break bullish out of this. And then if you hold that, then yeah, that's when we can start talking $10, $12 on the next big move. And what I've always said, once you get to $10 is where it gets fun. But imagine us being at $5.49 when we bought in for 35 cents or 34 cents. So $3,500 when we bought. And then you talk about, you know, that's getting into some interesting cash there at $5.49. You know, that's 10,000 tokens. You figure that's $54,000 right there. Just right there. That's where you get into some interesting things. A-Train, you bought at 6 cents. See, yeah, I bought before, but I sold at the end of last bear market and bought back in on this this bull market to capitalize on profits. You have a great price. But I wish you would have, you probably weren't even in here, but I wish you would have seen my content back in 21 when I told everybody to sell at $1.66. After we went to all-time highs, I was in at 47 cents. I told everybody to sell because we were going to have a historic collapse, and we did. But I wanted everybody to sell so that we could buy back in a couple years later and be able to secure that profit and be able to expand. But, you know, it's been a pretty interesting cycle. You've got a great price. So when it materializes, it's not going to even matter. But this is what the longevity of the pattern actually is. That's the W. Lonzo, if I could give you if I had $1 for every time somebody gave me those predictions since 21, oh, Tom, by mid-21, by early 22, by mid-22, by early 23, by mid-23, by late 23, by 24, by 25, by 20, I could build a fountain of wealth. I live in reality, sir. I live in reality. I know what it means to have 100 billion circulating supply. I'm sorry, I do. I know there are harsh realities. There's nothing wrong with that. So now you have a chance to be able to do what you got to do. Now imagine XRP does get to 549. That first double up from there to $10. That's only 100% from somebody. Here's the argument. Here's the argument. XRP, the first time it doubles up from there, from 35 cents, I mean, you're 15xing almost on that one move. So that means for every $3,500, every time it moves that $5 now, that's where I'm trying to get. Because somebody from 5 or even 350, ready? From 350 to 5 or 350 to 7. Somebody's going to have 100% from 350 to $7. When it breaks all-time highs and then moves up and ends up having a parabolic move, yada, yada, yada. They'll make 100%. Our move from $3.50 to $7, they make 100%. We make 1,000%. You get it? If they had $3,500 there, they have 7,000. We make 35,000 every time they make 100%. See what I'm saying here? That's why you buy in bear markets. Now this whole thing could go belly side up, but all of the history, the entirety of the pattern doesn't suggest that. Doesn't suggest that by a long shot. I'm going to shift courses here now. And first we're going to do some reading, and then we're going to end it with some reading. So if you're watching and you enjoy this, please make sure to hit that like button, as it will greatly help me promote my content. It's that simple. If you appreciate my work, consider sending one YouTube super chat per month or joining Tom's Army. No super chats this evening, which is okay. One person rejoined Tom's Army, which is awesome. But please hit that like button. We can be making such an impact here, allowing new people to come to the community. So this is something I wanted to read. XRP whales move 300 million coins amid SEC's appeal. It sure does, A-Train. It sure does. Oh, no, Lonzo, I'm not saying it's going to be cheap. In fact, I hope it goes to where you're saying, but to say it in those terms and so certain, we've got to get through certain parts. I have no doubt XRP is going to be worth something, but remember, they don't just have 100 million total circulating supply. There's a reason why they have 100 billion. They don't have to have as high of a price to set. They have so many tokens. That's a reason. It's not like Bitcoin, less than 100. I mean, it's not the same. It's not meant for high appreciated price. For people that don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. It's not meant for a $10,000 price tag. Otherwise, there would only be there wouldn't be 100 billion tokens. CPR, welcome in, and thank you so much for that $10 donation. I greatly appreciate that. First donation of the night. And also, Sam, thank you so much for the $19.99 donation. Says, thanks for always bringing the honest truth, Tom, even if it's hard to hear. It is hard to hear sometimes, even for myself. But that doesn't mean we can't run crazy. Like, instead of thinking 10,000, think 100. As to where something with 100 million tokens could get to 1,000 or 10,000, you've got 100 billion. So think of 100 instead of 10,000. That's not a bad thing. XRP's at 60 cents right now. What's wrong with $100 or 10? I mean, you know. But that's why I'm not as big as some other stations, because I refuse to speak stuff that I don't believe in. And I still think we're going to be exponentially wealthy. But there's so much more that meets the eye. It's just, there's a lot of utility here with XRP or with Ripple, but there's also some baggage that goes along with it. And you have to understand the total circulating supply. 99% of the stations I watch who talk about 10,000 tokens, they wouldn't know what a circulating supply was if it punched them in the face and pulled their pants on and flipped their underwear over their head. They'd have no idea. So XRP whales moved 300 million coins amid SEC's appeal for final judgment on Ripple. In a riveting turn of events, following the U.S.'s SEC Securities and Exchange Commission recent appeal to Judge Annalisa Perez surrounding a final judgment on Ripple, XRP whales appear to be on the move, shifting colossal amounts of tokens in the past 24 hours. Insights revealed by the blockchain tracker Whale Alert spotlighted over 300 million XRP coins transferred, nabbing significant investor spotlighting over 300 million. XRP coins transferred, nabbing significant investor attention as the token plunged notably today. This fueled speculations across the global crypto horizon as the market appeared to be highly optimistic about XRP's potential run to $1 shortly ahead. Ever since Ripple embarked upon a legal tussle with the US SEC, XRP traded quite sluggishly within the broader crypto market. Now, with the US regulatory body appealing for a final call on Ripple, the above-mentioned colossal move by whales has stirred a whirlpool of inferences on XRP's price action ahead. And as we know, the SEC is wanting the judge to impose a $2 billion fine on Ripple. So, according to Whale Alert Insights, 3 massive transactions collectively attributed to the shifting of 301.8 million XRP worth 191.11 million. 2 of these transactions showcase a renowned XRP whales dump to sexes, whereas the remaining transactions showcase a colossal transfer of XRP between unknown wallets. 250 million XRP worth 158. And think about this. Look at 250 million XRP is only worth 158.3 million. Imagine if they have to sell 2 billion worth of XRP. You're talking like 4 billion almost XRP is going to have to be sold. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Thank you, Julie. So previously recorded for similar transfers moved 28.4 million coins worth 17.95 million to Bitso and 23.4 million coins worth 14.78 million to Bitstamp. Intriguingly, these transactions illustrated a mixed sentiment among whales, with offloading and on-chain transfers between wallets running in hand. This sparked a tidal wave of speculation as the transactions emerged soon after the SEC filed for a final judgment against Ripple. This judgment includes permanent injunctions, disgorgement, and prejudgment interest and civil penalties of nearly $2 billion, as CoinGate reported earlier. So that's what I wanted to read from that article. That is very interesting, all the stuff that is transcending there. And then we have this, because this is some more news that most will ignore. Most influencers will ignore this, I guarantee it. Because it is not a pretty picture for Ripple. It's not a pretty picture for what some devs think of the handling of Ripple selling tokens on retail investors and depreciating our holdings willingly by dumping them on us. And some devs are just sick of it and they're pulling out their projects. And that's not a joke. So Ripple Labs chief CTO Joe Cat Schwartz has weighed in on the new Dev Null Productions' choice to cease its contribution towards XRP and its ecosystem, offering perspective on the development. Ripple CTO advocates for XRP. On Tuesday, Dev Null Productions announced its decision to discontinue its contribution to XRP and its ecosystem, which the company dubbed the end of an era, triggering speculation within the community. And this is interesting. Listen to this. I'm going to highlight it. The company stated that one of its reasons for cutting ties with the payment firm boils down to faith, or rather the absence of it. Additionally, the decision of Ripple's top leadership to sell its XRP at the cost of retail investors served as the major driver for the firm's action. Dev Null believes that taking this step, Ripple has demonstrated that the people in charge do not have enough faith in XRP to give up short-term financial benefits that come at the expense of this of the hardworking community. Even though the leaders talk while in front of cameras or an audience, Dev Null believes they still lack transparency and accountability to the people they owe their success to. Nothing that actions speak louder than words. Responding to the firm's claim, Schwartz stated that even if you wish to hold XRP, selling the coin is almost impossible to avoid. David Schwartz then drew attention to a previous post regarding the tax implications involved in obtaining XRP from the company. Offering an instance, Schwartz noted that if XRP awarded him a bonus of 1 million XRP tomorrow, he would be forced to sell roughly half of it right away. This is because he has a marginal tax rate of nearly 50% on earned income from both federal, Fed, and California states. Without a doubt, Dev Null Productions has been a significant contributor to the XRP ecosystem, supporting several events and developments within the ecosystem. In the past 6 years, the company has been a sole supporter of the New York City / XRP meetup, Ripple Swell event, Ripple Drop interview, Ripple source code, XRP Intel. The first independent XRP data and analytics project, San Francisco Blockchain Week, among others. Addressing the concerns about XRP's distribution, the Ripple CTO claims the process is somewhat challenging, according to Schwartz. There is a common complaint among community members that the distribution is too concentrated, followed by complaints that there is too much distribution. Thus, this tends to remain this way as there is nothing more that can be done and there is no available option. However, the community seems to disagree with Schwartz, as a member has offered an opinion saying the company should purchase something else that moves and makes money. To the event that we take no action with our XRP, the distribution stays concentrated, Schwartz responded, since the concentration of XRP with Ripple is a common and valid complaint within the community. So what does everybody think about that? I am very curious, but that's the news with XRP. And now for anybody else who's here, we're going to shift gears here for a couple minutes and talk about XRP Healthcare. I've talked about everything I want to talk about with XRP and Ripple, but now here's a project within the ecosystem. As we know, this is XRP Healthcare. We've been talking about this for about the last 11 to 12 days now, only because it finally had a reversal in the monthly, but then it created its expansion zone when it came down to 1.9, and this is when I alerted everybody. I first bought, or it came down to 1.7. I bought at 1.9, 2.1, 2.4, 2.8, 2.4. When I sent it over, my average price was about 2.6, I want to say, to stake it now. So I have 34,000 and some change staking for 20% for 6 months on their actual website through their wallet. Very easy to do. You have to put up 12 XRP though, to open up the account. So you have to send 12 XRP and then you can use it. But that's the pharmacy and everything. By doing this and having that app, you have the you actually have the XRP prescription card that can save you 80%. This is a big deal right now. This is big, and by 2021 it's $3.7 trillion industry. By 2031, right now it's about 1.7 trillion. So you're talking about a sizable increase here over the next every single year going forward. So it's a digital pharmacy slash digital, they're trying to do digital clinics and things. They're getting ahead of it all. So it's in the early stages still, but it's really being adopted. It's in 60,000 pharmacies, including CVS, Walgreens accepts it, Kroger, just some of the bigger ones that most would know in the USA. So there's a lot of bigger pharmacies working behind this, and it's only got a 100 million total circulating supply, and just over 33 million is available for retail. 13 million approximately, from what I remember, is it's designated to be held for transactions and whatnot. So but yeah, nobody's acting surprised that Ripple's dumping. This is the information. SHX uplist on March 29th. It's XRP Healthcare. You can download the app. That's what I did. Download the app. It's in the Google Play Store, the App Store. It's called XRP Healthcare. So this is what, but now if you stake it and you take it out before, if you do it for 6 months, there's a 10% penalty if you take it out early. It's no different than if you take out a government bond. So if you decide to pull out early, you're going to pay a fee. If you do it for a year, you get 25%, and there's a 12.5% fee if you pull out early. So this is the chart. When it started to finally reverse, we had a monthly reversal candle, and it took a long time for me to talk about this, but now this candle looks a lot different. Now it looks like a beautifully bullish candle. Initially, when I started talking about this, it was a long leg doji, and it was signifying a reversal, but now it's just absolutely breaking out here this month. So it's pretty interesting, and the technical target, as long as it holds this consolidation, and it's right around, it could be a little bit lower to 2.9 if it comes further, but if it holds this consolidation, the breakout target's 5.8 cents. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. 5.8 cents. So that's the target if it breaks down. But this was promoted on YouTube by a lot of people last summer, and they got everybody obliterated. So I'm not sure what the reasoning was talking about it back then and then just giving up on it. But it's a problem when you, and like I said, I started talking about it when I did, and I said it's all about timing. You can't tell somebody when to buy it, and then they're down 90% before they even know it hit them. So I always look for opportunity, and I always tell everybody, just like when I showed XDC before, I always wait for the expansion zone within a pattern. That's your first chance at a breakout, a true breakout, and this was our expansion zone. So this is XRP Healthcare. So basically, it's on the XRP ledger. It's not affiliated with Ripple, but for anybody who doesn't know, it's the first pharma and healthcare platform to be built on the XRP ledger, and it's transforming global healthcare through mergers, acquisitions, and blockchain. We've already went through the first part of this. So it's the first pharma and healthcare platform. Is an innovative, scalable solutions company utilizing Web3 technology to revolutionize the way people access and afford healthcare services globally. But this is just a projected growth here, just from 24. But what we're talking about today now, because we went over some of this stuff before. But right now, we can go through. So XRP Healthcare will partner with premier courier companies such as DHL to help with the ongoing demand of our decentralized marketplace, which will include expedited, safe, and trackable delivery of each item purchased using the XRP Healthcare. They're also going into the, where is this at? Because I thought this was interesting. They're going into, it said how much it was, with CBDCs and stuff like that, the tinctures. What was the amount? It's like a $25 billion industry at that point. But this is the XRP mobile app that I was talking about. You can enable swift, low-cost, and dependable transactions of value anywhere in the world. Be a way of sending funds and blah, blah, blah. You guys can read through that. This is the market for 197.74 billion by 2028 is the market expecting, from 28.2 to 197 billion. So several cannabis companies are struggling banking in an area of concern for MRBs, marijuana-related businesses. And XRPH is going to be a way for sellers and dispensaries, licensed ones at that. But what I wanted to read today, and this is what I was hinting at before, so we're going to start from here. We're going to start with the prescription, and then we're going to see why it was issued. So XRPH prescription savings card. The XRPH prescription saving card can be used to save up to 80% on prescriptions, and the white paper is what sold me. This is what sold me when I started reading this a while ago, and it was unbelievable. Prescriptions, medication, and 68,000 national and regional U.S.-based pharmacies we have partnered with, including Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens. Users are rewarded in XRP Healthcare's native token XRPH each time the card is used. All XRPH rewards will be distributed solely by XRP Healthcare, and they're by CVS Pharmacy, Walgreens, Walmart, Stop and Shop Pharmacy, Weiss, Rite Aid, Kroger, Safeway. There's a bunch more as well. You can get it on the App Store and Google Play, as I mentioned. So why was the XRPH token issued? The founders at XRPH or XRP Healthcare set out to avail themselves of the attributes of XRPL by building a scalable health service on top of XRP Ledger, especially due to the requirement of needing a first-class and sustainable payment system void of the limitations of Bitcoin. The XRP Ledger encourages people to build and innovate upon it, and as a consequence, they have developed a strong and open-source platform for launching the most demanding projects. Naturally, the integrity and future of the developing XRPH ecosystem demands that it retain sovereignty over its own digital asset, and thus over its decentralized marketplace and the elements connected therein. Furthermore, the XRPH token will have the additional uses: the transfer of money, a payment mechanism, data verification, smart asset management, branding. Having its own cryptocurrency supports the brand value of XRPH, and financial dexterity. And then they say why they chose, and this is good for us who believe in the ledger. Why we chose to be on the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger brings efficiency and speed in how healthcare services can be conducted, with business to customer and business to business. Transactions can be processed in 3 to 5 seconds and for as little as 0.0002 cents. And then you can see the speeds. Per transaction on the ledger, 3 to 5 seconds, Bitcoin 45 seconds, Ethereum 4.49 minutes, Dash 15 minutes, Litecoin 12 minutes. The cost is 0.0002 cents for XRP Ledger. Bitcoin's $1.88, Ethereum 46 cents, Dash 39 cents, and Litecoin 12 cents. In scalability, XRP Ledger 1,500 transactions per second. Bitcoin with 16 whole transactions per second. Ethereum 16, Dash 10, and Litecoin with 56 transactions per second. The faster and most scalable blockchain protocol in the world. Transaction speeds up to 1,500 transactions per second. Transactions can be processed in 3 to 5 seconds for as little as 0.002 cents. Don't you realize this is a beautiful case study for the ledger and Ripple itself? The XRP ledger can scale up as needed by adding new servers around the world, allowing it to handle an unlimited number of transactions with minimal delay. One of the most secure blockchains in existence due to its use of advanced encryption techniques which protect against attacks and unauthorized access. High transaction throughput, meaning that it can handle many transactions at once without slowing down or stalling. The XRPL's low transaction fees and cost saving make it a great choice for business looking to save money while still maintaining the security of their transactions. Fully decentralized, no single entity controls it. Instead, the users of the ledger control it by voting on changes in protocol. Cision, a leading global provider of earned media software and services to public relations and marketing communication professionals. XRPH have partnered with Cision, the leading provider of public relations and marketing, to utilize their existing network of crypto and blockchain journalists for specialists, press marketing, and strategic promotion of our brand, vision, and so that's a partnership. The tokenomics, and this is what's very interesting. This is where I'm very excited to read this and to see just how rare it's going to be in the future for us to even hold this. So the total XRP Healthcare, and let's see how many are still with us. 177 people. That's pretty impressive, I must be honest. So let me know what everybody thinks about this part. That's right. That's true, A-Train. It's 100% true. And we know we're going into a digital era now, so they don't want you necessarily to go to the doctors or go to the pharmacies anymore. So this is just taking shape of something that's being transformed right in front of our very eyes. We're very early on this. Not just very early. I say very early because we bought the true reversal. We didn't buy it when it was too expensive. We didn't buy it at 15, 20 cents. You got to know when to buy. But this is the interesting part. Total XRP Healthcare supply is capped at 100 million. XRP Black Hold issuing account. This means our total supply of 100 million tokens will never increase. So token distributions. Partnerships, 4.44%. Token sale, 10%. The team has 15%. Liquidity is 17.6%. So I'm assuming the liquidity is just held out for worst case scenario. Allocated for exchanges is 33%. Ecosystem incentives is 20%. And that's when you use the card and yada, yada, yada. So if you look at that, only 33 million tokens will ever be allocated for exchanges. So if you own it, you're one of 33 million possible tokens are sitting in your wallet or your in your hands right now. So right now I have 34,600 and some change out of a possible 33 million that are going to be issued. So it's pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting. Please note, total amount of XRPH tokens that will ever be released onto the exchanges is what we sold in our token sale. 1,945,000 allocated exchange wallet tokens of 33 million. So 1.945 million was sold out of the 33 million on the token sale. 750,000 tokens has already been given to exchanges. 32,250,000 will be released over a period of 6 months at a rate of 5,300,000. Look at how early we are. Like, look how early you are in the, grabbing these tokens. The longer you wait, the more it's going to appreciate. So they're going to be giving out 5.375 million per month. How do you access this? You go to XRP just type in XRP Healthcare white papers and you can pull this up. This isn't XRP, this is XRP Healthcare. XRP has 100 billion tokens. This is built on the ledger. This has nothing to do with XRP. Ripple doesn't even own this. We need it to go to 50 cents before the next. Oh, you're talking about. Thank you so much for the $1.99 donation, my friend. My cat wants in, but I want to keep reading this while I have everybody's attention. But this is XRP Healthcare. This is not XRP. Come on, Ghost. Come here, Ghost. Ghost, come on, baby. Come here, kitty. Yeah, you need to get this kitty. Come here. Here, come here. Yeah. All right. But this is trying to piggyback off of our own technology that we understand better than everybody. We understand this better than anybody. That's right, Lonzo. That's what I was saying for sure. But let me finish this and then we'll look at the charts before I leave as well. I know it's been an hour and 6 minutes, but I'm having fun here. So the amount of XRPH tokens that will ever be placed on the exchange is 34,945,000. 15 million team tokens vested over a 4-year period biannually. 17.6 million has been reserved for liquidity, which I love the liquidity amount. That's pretty cool that they have 17.6% as liquidity. 20 million tokens allocated for ecosystem incentives. 4.4 million set aside for partnerships vested over a 4-year period biannually. And then these are the directors, yada, yada, yada. And then where to buy XRPH, we know BitTrue, MEXC, CoinStore, Bitmart, and LBank. So look at it this way. There's not even a major exchange here yet. These are small exchanges in terms of volume in comparison to some of the bigger ones. Imagine when this gets put on a... So, and then these are some of the partnerships. And here, where's my phone? I can show you what it looks like on my phone on the actual app. Because I don't have it on my tablet for safety purposes when I'm doing my lives, obviously, because I don't want anything connected to it. Not because I don't trust you, but there are always those unsavory characters. So when you are on here, and I know it's going to be inverted. Oh, you might not even be able to see, but it's going to be inverted. But that's how it looks when you stake. I know you're not even going to be able to see this. It's going to be impossible. But that's the staking. So right now I get 19 XRP per day for the next 6 months for free to hold it and stake. Yes, I do A-Train. I absolutely do A-Train. I have my XRP. That's exactly where I hold it on the ledger. Through Zoom, or Zaman, formerly known as Zoom. That's great advice. That's how I have my exposure to the ledger. You want to buy it at 50 cents? Well, we'll look at XRP. But if we do break down our key support, 50 cents, if we lose 55 or 55 and a half cents would be on tap. That's the bottom of the handle support. But XRPH is working with Spiritus Medical. Oh, I wanted to show you what the, when you look at it, just by having this, if I go to the pharmacy, and I don't have insurance. I haven't had insurance in my adult life because I've never really worked for companies. I've always been 1099. So for me, even though I don't take prescriptions, God forbid something happens, I can use this. This is actually targeted for somebody like me. That's the prescription card. And it says XRPH prescription card. I've got my ID number, my RxBin, my RxGRP. It says XRPH prescription savings card will save you up to 80% on your prescriptions and medications with unlimited use. And then you get XRP rewards each time your card is used at 68,000 plus pharmacies across the U.S., including CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Safeway, Stop and Shop, and many more. So I think it's pretty cool that we have all of this stuff here at our disposal. And this is where you stake it too. The same place that you can get your XRP prescription savings card and real world utility, so you know this isn't bullshit. There's already an ecosystem in place, and it's already here helping people. So the same place I stake is the same exact app that I can use to have a prescription saving card. God forbid we don't have insurance. The rest of my family does except me. So that prescription card could very much come in handy if anything ever happens to me. Transparency. So what do we think so far? Honest to God. Because this is blowing me away. So at XRPH, we believe that sharing information openly and transparently is imperative. This includes our team members and financial information. XRP Healthcare will always be available to address any queries, inquiries, feedback, or suggestions from our audience. We believe that this transparency is the best way to build trust within our community, which will include consumers and all those involved to create scalable solutions that will impact positively the world healthcare industry. So I just think unbelievable information here. And what you read through there, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable when you realize so freaking early. It's so freaking early. It is so early. And I talked yesterday about how it was going to have a nice consolidation. And look what XRP Healthcare did in a 2-hour. And this is what it likes to do when it's bullish. Look how it dragged all the way down here for a split second to 2-3. See, fortunately, they don't have this for added liquidity for futures trading and stuff. This is a spot trading token, at least on my exchange that I buy it from. You can't even futures trade. So I like to look at it not just right there, but I like to look at this. Well, this is XRP, but I like to look at this chart a little bit more. I like to look at this chart. But I told everybody you'd have a chance to buy this. It has to retest this area. Now it's already retested it. See how quick it does that, though? It came down yesterday about, 8-10 hours? Actually, earlier today it did. That was earlier today. It retested it. Now if it can hold this, we do have a technical breakup. But that 100 million tokens is very attractive. The fact that you get about, 35 million total with everything included to exchanges, it's pretty incredible. Because what happens when you start to get towards the back end of this? And we've got it's something when you buy something when it's not so expensive. Like anybody who bought it up here, I understand. I understand because YouTube was pushing it hard back here in March, April, May last year. I kid you not. That's when I first seen it. But when you looked at it, there was no basis to buy it there. It would sound like a great project. Great project. A lot of stuff's happened in the last year, though. A lot. Imagine if you bought it somewhere on that wick. Look how... So from the time I first purchased that 1.9, that's a 93% down for somebody. The cool thing about this is, though, it's not 93% to go back up. Oh, no. We'll just be generous. I'll say I got it at 2.8. I'll just say 2.8. Even though I know it's 2.6, I'll say 2.8. So if it goes up to 2.8 and it just comes back up here, it's acknowledged on many exchanges that they started at 15 cents. Some exchanges had it earlier. So you're talking 23. I know it went up to 40 something, but that's a big move there just to get back up into those ranges if and when it breaks out in the future. I'm looking for a breakout of 5.8 cents. Maybe not. Even if it falls back into the rotation, it just gives us more time. It just gives you more time. It's XRP Healthcare. I just went through the whole thing. Please start watching the live at about 50 minutes. There's a lot of information. So how do you swap XRP for XRPH? I didn't do it. I didn't swap it for XRP. I bought XRPH on MEXC and I sent it over via the ledger. Simple. I didn't buy it with XRP and swap it into XRP8, so I have no idea how to do that. I haven't even looked to do that. I literally bought it from XRPH on MEXC, and I sent it over, and it took like 2 minutes for it to be in there. I was shocked how quick it went. Only because I didn't know if it was going to get there as quick. So yeah, I didn't do it through that the way you said. If anybody did, please lend a helping hand. But I gotta end this, guys. With XRP, though, yes, we are falling down 3.3%. Nobody should be surprised here. We came down to the technical support right now, and if we break past that 608, which it could happen, if this breaks down, our next technical move could be 55.4 cents. And then if we do continue down, the bottom of the cup and handle support It's a pretty it's a pretty nice spot. Yeah, it's only 3.9 cents right now. When I started talking about it, it was around 2 cents, 2.1 cent the first day. So it is very cheap. It's very cheap. And to understand that a lot of the YouTubers were pushing it at 18 to 24 cents should make you feel a lot better of when I talk about things. I'm not looking to get everybody completely destroyed. March 20. Wait a minute. What was that? SHX is being listed on MEXC win? That's huge. The SHX is Stronghold. That's one from the Stellar ecosystem. Friday, March 20. Oh, man. And we know how hard that was to find on exchanges, too. That's going to be very nice. That's going to be very nice. Thank you for that info, Sam. Nope. I've said you can't get MEXC in the USA unless you already had an account. If you had an account last year before they stopped accepting new USA users, you can still use it. I do. But if you are not, and you were not already signed up, you obviously can't use it. That's the issue. It's very hard to get. So yeah, that's what I got though, everybody. I gotta get going. I gotta take care of the family. I was on a lot longer. Well, not a lot longer, but longer than I expected. And then if you're looking for that 50 cents, you've got to break. If you're looking for a big breakdown to 50, you got to remember we got to break this pattern because this pattern still holds weight. Unless you break this down at 55, 56, your chances of getting the 60 or 50 cents outside of a wick are slim. But if this pattern breaks, we do know a downward target. It gets pretty low. So, still got a lot of work to do here. But up to support, up to back down to support, creates the head and shoulders. And if it comes back down, you should be looking at 55, 56. And if that breaks, then you come back down to the handle support. If the handle support breaks, we got a lot of problems. So, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you made it until the end, please make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. And if you do appreciate my work, please, please, please hit that subscribe button and join us in the future. And then hashtag be better, do better in the comments if you made it until the end. Thank you all so much.